describe your thoughts at the moment? Are you fearful? Are you fired up for this? How would you describe it?
A bit of both, probably. You're obviously fearful in the sense you know what's at stake, kind of thing, but also fired up at the same time because you know you can resurrect it yourself. So probably both, to be honest with you. I understand both sides of it.
And what do you make of Hamilton?
I would say they've got good front players. A lot of their players I've played against before in the Championship, so I would say they've probably got a Championship team in League One. They're dangerous going forward, and they gave us a good test in that probably 15-minute spell of madness that we kind of had, which, to be honest, I thought we probably started off better than Hamilton, and then that 15-minute spell kind of came and I couldn't really understand what was going on, to be honest, and how it had gone like that. But after that, I think you've seen in the second half we were pretty dominant and we were just kind of pinning them back most of the game, so confident.
What was the players' reaction to the incident of that match with the keeper?
Some boys maybe had a few choice thoughts about it. Obviously a goalie getting chipped from the halfway line, but it happens. You've seen it against Dundee United, it happened to us as well. You've got to take your hat off to the striker really, but also they get a bit of luck with it hitting the post and coming back off Ridgers, so it kind of just feels like our luck as well with it coming back off the post, but you've got to give plaudits to the striker for noticing it, but we probably shouldn't have lost the ball so cheaply in the middle of the pitch.
As you say, you bounce back from that, wind in your sails again. You can use that supposedly for this next match.
100%. I think the goal down there, us getting a goal down there was massive to kind of keep the tie alive, and obviously in the second half it was just, well, it felt like it was just waves of attack from us. So we ended the game on a high, so it's important we take that in and carry on and get that goal, and then it's fair game again.
Now obviously you're focused on what you need to do, but
yeah.
if you could possibly just look slightly wider in terms of the club and the community and the future, is that on your mind at all?
Maybe a little bit, yeah. I understand it, obviously. Everyone understands if a team gets relegated, whether it be our situation, the Premiership in Scotland, or even down in England, it has implications. I understand it, but like you said, we've just got to be focused on the game and try and fix it that way.
I'm guessing it's more an incentive than a shadow hanging over you.
Yeah, 100%. You know, we've got a chance to keep the club in the division, so that's all I'm really thinking about, to be honest.
And how confident are you?
Yeah, I'm confident. I'm confident the way we ended the game.
Thank you.
No worries.
Cammy, you're a local lad, you've come through the club here, this is your team. How determined are you to make sure that Cali Thistle remain in the Championship?
Yeah, obviously, like you said, I'm from here and I came through the youth, so it probably means a little bit more to me than maybe some boys. Of course, it means a lot to everyone, but you know what I mean, I've got that kind of personal touch to it, so I'm fully determined to try and keep the club in the division. I just can't even imagine the thought of them being in League One, to be honest, because when I was growing up it was always the Premiership, and then since I've come into the first team it's always been the Championship, so you can't even really imagine it. So yeah, I'm fully determined.
12 months ago you were preparing to walk out of Hampden Scottish Cup final.
Yeah.
Another crunch game tomorrow, slightly different circumstances. How do they fare, and just how important are the support going to be for you tomorrow?
It's going to be massive. I think obviously people always say the support give you that 12th man kind of thing, and it definitely does help when you've got a good crowd on your side. You know what I mean? It even probably affects the away team even more, puts them under a wee bit of pressure because they feel like you've just got all the momentum going to it. But as you said, the Scottish Cup final last year compared to now, both big games of real importance. Do you know what I mean? But it's football, like you can go from highs to lows and stuff like that, but it's probably maybe even a little bit bigger in the sense of just trying to keep the club in the division, because no one expects you to beat Celtic, obviously with their budget, their players and everything like that. We were heavy underdogs that day.
What's the morale like in the dressing room? You know, there's a lot of experienced heads in there, and yourself as a local lad, you know, you know what is at stake here. Mm-hmm. Is it important to stress that to the rest of the dressing room? You know, what's the overriding kind of feeling just now?
I think everyone understands it. Do you know what I mean? I think when we were, even in the season, I remember doing an interview and I said, all the lone boys understand it as well, what the effects are and the implications of being relegated. But I would say the morale's probably positive on the way we ended the game. Don't get me wrong, there's probably a few choice words to each other at half time because that 15-minute period, like I said, no one knew what was going on. We've had to get to grips with it and we didn't. And fair play at Hamilton, they capitalise on it. But the way we ended the game has to give us all confidence for tomorrow's.
Particularly, you managed to cut the ball back for Peppel for the goal. It seemed a bit more of a lively performance in the second half. Roddy came on as well, another local boy there, and really put on a bit of a good performance. Is that key tomorrow to get off to a fast start? And how confident are you that you can get that goal back and ensure that you come through the tie?
Yeah, I'm very confident. I think at half time, the gaffer said we needed to play with more intensity because I think when they scored 2 goals, it kind of maybe rocked the boys a little bit. But you see in the second half, we came out and played quicker. I think that's really probably when this team's at its best, when we play quicker and move the ball sharply. And like you say, the boys that came on, like Bim, affected the game really well. Roddy done really well when he came on as well. So we just need to focus on playing the game exactly how we ended it.
Perfect.
Anyways.
Do you think getting that goal back could be crucial in this tie in terms of how you approach it, the mindset, and just how it sets you up?
Yeah, massively. I mean, it's only 1 goal, do you know what I mean? And anything can happen in football, and 2-0's obviously a dodgy scoreline, but they've got that cushion, whereas if we get 1 straight away, then it's back to level pegging kind of thing, so I think the goal was massive.
Mark was in a couple of weeks ago now speaking about, obviously just what you were saying there about how he's so local as well and he feels the pressure with in terms of the jobs that are at stake and obviously having family and friends here. Is that something that you share as well, going about town, people obviously coming up to you?
Well, yeah, I've got quite a few pals that are supporters, do you know what I mean? And I've obviously been here since the age of 9 or 10, so you understand it, but you can't really think about that and think about others' feelings and stuff like that. You just have to focus on yourself and getting the job done.
Duncan a couple of weeks ago was mentioning how there's obviously a lot of players out of contract this summer. I don't know if that applies to you, but has much thought gone into that beyond this? Where you might be
no, to be honest, I just get this season over and done with and then decide from there.
What would it mean to you to keep Caledonian Thistle in the Championship as well? You mentioned your long association with the club and, remembering them being in the top flight. What would it mean to keep them in this league?
It would mean, I could say everything, do you know what I mean? It would mean a lot because in my mind, I can't imagine a club of Caledonian Thistle size being down in League One, do you know what I mean? And then obviously all the stuff that goes with relegation, I don't want it. Do you know what I mean? It sounds stupid to say that because it's such an obvious statement, but it would mean a lot to keep them in the division, yeah.
Good stuff, thanks.
And as much as people talk about the consequences of losing the game and dropping down to League One, you want to obviously be a Championship team next year, and Livingston have come down. It could be a real kind of big year for Inverness going the other way.
Yeah, 100%. Do you know what I mean? It's probably not going to have that one massive club in it with a big budget, so it would probably be one of the best opportunities with all the teams maybe having a similar kind of budget or a lot closer together than before. So yeah, staying in division would be massive looking at next season.
And the stats tell you that you are a kind of Championship club, and it's bizarre that you finish 9th given second best defence and everything else, so the Championship you'll feel is where this club belongs.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, we're going off a recent, this is where it belongs, but like I said, when I grew up watching Cali, it was always in the Premiership, and you have aspirations of that. I know we're completely at the different end of the spectrum here with results and situations, but like you said, it's mad to think that we're in this position considering second best defence in the league. You're only 3 points off of 5th, which was mad. But yeah, we've just got to focus on keeping them in the division.
How old were you when you first joined Caledonian?
I think I was 9. I was at Caledonian before. I was only there for a couple of years, and then I went to Hot Shots actually, and then ended up coming here after that. So yeah, I think 9.
And just you think about that first day, and you look at what you've achieved at the club.
Yeah,
this is a place that means a lot to you.
Yeah, it's a bit mad. I mean, obviously, I'm still only 22, probably, I think I know I've played over 150 games for the club, probably about 170 now, and been at a Scottish Cup final and stuff like that. So it's mad to think. I said that to my dad. Like, it's been a bit of a hectic career, always in the playoffs, going up the way, since I've been full time, and then obviously this year it's a different side. It's the relegation thing, but it's been a bit of a mad professional career so far. But I wouldn't change it. Do you know what I mean? But got to keep them in the division.